everybody, and welcome back to another super short episode of Let's Play some Final Fantasy XIV about a trial I nearly actually completely forgot about during my recording sessions of this, so thus this is post-commentary. As you can see, I actually have my whole static group with me, and the reason this is not live commentary is obviously because I'm on TeamSpeak with my static group, discussing, some things. This is one of the nights we did the Binding Coil of Bahamut, which would, you're gonna see in like 30-something episodes or whatever, but at level 50, we actually have this quest. This is part of the 2.1 storyline, and like I said, I almost completely forgot about it, so thus I'm wedging it in here, before we get to the 2.2 storyline in here. Now, this Wandering Minstrel over here is actually the avatar of Yoshi P in the game, so that's kind of cool. I like how his bard top is red. So, since my preview window is actually rather small here, because obviously I'm sitting here watching it in the background as I'm recording this commentary, is basically we're regarding our tale of the destruction of the Ultima Weapon to him. Which is actually kind of cool, because unlike what the hard mode primals and as well as the extremes, which at the time of this recording, even though it's long since been, I've recorded all 130 something episodes of this Let's Play. Like I said, I'm really wedging this in here. Unlike the extreme primals, which I may or may not do, it would be like a bonus episode and shoving all of them in down the thing. There's no bullcrap excuse about, oh, the primals are wrecked, to try to, you know, wedge it into the story ever so slightly, while giving you a gameplay excuse to do the battle. This is actually a recreation, and I think this is really creative how they did this. Rather than have the fight be, you know, like I said, you know, like, oh, the primals are back, and or make up some BS excuse about, oh, Ultima Weapon is back. Instead, we're reliving our memories of the fight by doing it again as we regard our tale to the hymn. So I think that's a really, a nice and really creative way, to live a fight. I mean, obviously, I can understand that, you know, you don't want to use that too often, because then that whole thing gets a little stale, and yeah, given the nature of the primals, it's understandable that they can return, but Ultima Weapon, we kind of let that thing, like, blow up. So we wouldn't really be, you know, hard-pressed to just all of a sudden, you know, reassemble that thing all over again. You know, we'd be 20 Shades of Screwed all over again. Because if you recall, we needed Heidelin's Blessing to actually combat this thing when it had the power of the primals. Although we didn't need as much when we actually fought this thing proper with its Magitech enhancements. So the field here is actually of the second fight with Ultima Weapon. And unfortunately, Gaius does actually not make an appearance here. I think it would have been fun if you saw him crawl into the cockpit again. Because we are reliving our memories, so technically, in our memories, he hasn't died yet, so... So this fight is actually pretty much a combination of the two fights, both with and without the primal powers, and a couple little tidbits thrown in, just to rank the difficulty level up. This fight was actually really hard when it first came out, and I believe I kind of might have went into this a long time ago. I don't remember if I did or not. I think when describing limit breaks way in the beginning of the Let's Play, I commented on the tank limit breaks. Back in the day, this was one of the fights where you would actually, it was actually useful. Now we're overgearing the absolute crap out of it, so there's no need for it, but, there is a point later on where we have to take a crap load of damage very quickly, and thus, the tank limit break was actually useful back then, and, almost actually completely necessary, unless you wanted a bunch of people sacrificing themselves. So as you can see, the shifting ground AoEs return, but they're obviously larger and quicker, so you gotta be really on your feet to dodge. This is one of actually the few fights in the game that remain where a tank swap is actually necessary, and you can't overgear the mechanics, because the main tank, he actually gives the main tank several stacks of this debuff, which the debuff does absolutely nothing until it hits 5 stacks, and the second it hits 5 stacks, it means instant death. So, yeah, there's absolutely no way around that. So yeah, as you can see, Groot is already dead. I don't actually remember if they still cast their big attacks if you don't severely get their HP, Ultima's HP low enough. I honestly don't remember. But in addition here is Ifrit now does this Infernal Cyclone while you're dodging his AoEs on the floor. A lot of people used to die to this frequently when this fight was brand new. It was just awful. Like, people just did not know how to look for Ifrit. It's like, it's not that hard. The only time it was excusable is if he was appeared at the 12 o'clock position, right behind Ultima Weapon, in which case you might not get there fast enough. See him fast enough, rather. Now, these orbs were the reason that this fight was hard, because if they touch, you wipe. And you have to actually run into them to detonate them before they do so. However, they do a shitload of damage. So basically, you had to stack as a group to mitigate that damage, because it was basically a combined total damage you did rather than based on the defense of a single person. And the final set is actually 4 of them, and you need to get those suckers exploded and detonated very, very quickly, or else you die. Yeah, see, now we like severely outgear it, so these don't do that much. But yeah, you take one of those things alone or with only one other person, and you're gonna die. Or at least back then, you were gonna die. And this part right here was actually somewhat difficult too, because you're sitting here dodging laser beams while you're in the middle, trying to take as least amount of damage as possible. And yeah, people died there because they couldn't dodge, and healers weren't on the ball with their Sacred Soil and their Medicas and everything like that, so that was not a common place to die. As you can see, we're just like whipping the crap out of this thing right here. All except for me, we're like all geared for the final turn, and we're like at the time of when this was actually recorded, like the best geared you can possibly be. Yeah, see, we had a little sacrifice there. But yeah, you have about 10 seconds to detonate all 4 of those sets, or you wipe. So it was not uncommon to either use the Tanglement Break or somebody rush in and literally sacrifice themselves in order to not let those things touch. That was the most common form of the wipe. And also there's an enraged timer of 10 minutes where he will cast Ultima and you will die. Which also frequently happened. But once again, same cutscene as before, and it massively explodes and everything goes boom! And he drops crappy I-80 rings, which at the time were one of the best you could get without doing the Binding Coil of Bahamut, which dropped 90 rings, as well as the Extreme Primals, who also dropped 90 rings, or at least Garuda did. The other ones dropped various 90 accessories. So yeah, that was like quite the reenactment there. I don't remember it being, you know, that difficult the first time we did it, but maybe we like to exaggerate just a little too much, right? I think you took some creative liberties there, sir, but yeah. But hey, it's just for a song, you know, everybody knows what good deeds we did anyway, and, you know, if it raises our, you know, badass credential a little bit, I really don't see the exact harm, so why the heck not? So yeah, that was just a little side quest from some content we hadn't seen before. Like I said, I may or may not do the extremes. I showed the hard modes already of the other primals and that relic special and whatnot. But sorry for the super short episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.